I've got my Louisiana trip under my belt. I've rested up for a couple of days. I checked the load board, and you will never believe where I'm going on my second trip. I can't tell you how many times when I was driving my school bus and I would have a frustrating day, somebody would say, "You having a frustrating day?" And I would say, "You know what? I'm ready to just get my purse and get in my car and drive west and not stop until I see the ocean." Well, this week, that's what I did. I'm in Soda Springs, California at the rest area on top of a mountain. And I'm about 100 miles from Sacramento. So I don't have very far to go. I didn't film on the last trip. I was so nervous. But this trip was a little bit easier because I really knew what I was up against most of the time. I got up this morning at 3:30, got in my car, drove 5 hours to Elkhart, got my RV that I'm taking to California. But I left there and I knew there were storms headed east that I was going to drive through. I was hoping that the majority of them had already gone through because the ground was wet from the day before. No. We had some horrible storms. And that's the biggest reason I pulled over, was because it got so windy that I was really worried it was going to blow right over, because they've been known to do that. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to stop for the night, because I started this morning at 3:30, drove 5 hours to Indiana, and drove 5 hours in this, and I thought 10 hours, that's enough. This is what it looks like. Isn't it cute? Now, it looks small because there are slides that go out, and you have a whole lot of room right here. I can't imagine the table and the sink and everything sliding out. I'm gonna have to go look at that, because all that cabinet, all that would have to slide out. That whole thing slides out. It sure does. See the black bar across the top? That is the roof when you pull it out. That covers up the roof of the RV. But it's got little bunk beds. Isn't it cute? And it's a bathroom. Look at that shower. Isn't that awesome? Look at that shower. So pretty. And this cute little sink right here. Isn't that awesome? And I had to make sure and check, because sometimes people will poop in the toilet. Isn't that awful? They get to work and I'm so hard they won't let them take a break, because they can't make these things fast enough, let me tell you. By the time I got to Iowa, it was so bad. The wind was so bad. I just had to pull off and stop at 4:30. And I hated that, because I had another hour of driving time, and I had planned to be an hour away down the road. So I thought, first day already getting behind. This is the trucker's world. This is my trucker's world. I stopped at this truck stop in Iowa. That is the biggest truck stop in the world, so they claim. Greetings from Iowa 80, world's largest truck stop, Walcott, Iowa. World's largest truck stop. I didn't want to say world's, but they did. It was like walking into Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's. It was huge, and they had everything you can imagine. They had a vehicle museum that was free that you could go into.
Look, they even got a trucking museum over there.
As I was meandering through, I saw this. I am on this trip and I'm feeling really guilty because my granddaughter's birthday is this coming Wednesday. And I don't have a present for her. And I'm on this 5-day trip. I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to be shopping for her, to get a birthday cake, all the things that I need to do. And when I saw that little puppy dog, that's exactly what she has been wanting, and nobody could find it. And here I am at a truck stop in Iowa.
They always tell you not to park around the truckers because they get mad when we take their spots. So this place has a spot just for RVs, and here they all are. But they got a tow car. I've got to get a tow car, you guys. I can make so much money. So much more money with a tow car. See, and it has to be, when you tow a car behind you when you're doing this job, has to be on the ground. Gosh, look at that pin thing. I had the strength to put that pin thing in there. Well, I don't know. I don't know. This is what I have to do, and I'm kind of scared to do it. But it's supposed to fold right up, and it folds right up back of your car, and then you pull the square thing out. Pull that out and put that in your truck, and you got your car. And it's great because when you get finished, you just drive your car home. Now you got a little view of Miss Hood's RV life. It's fun. I'm having fun.
The second day, I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was determined that I was going to drive my 11 hours on the second day. Iowa was land where we grow food to eat. Most of the fields, I'd say 98% of them, were tilled and manured. The land that we have to cultivate, to grow food, is incredible. And I really understood the beauty of it on that day.
This is Nebraska, Brady, Nebraska. And I love that sign that says, "Good life, great journey." I spent the night at this rest area. It was glorious. I have never felt so free in my whole life. This is the Blue Star Memorial Highway. I did not know that. If you're not a history buff, this probably doesn't impress you. See how nice it is? They got all this history. In my state, you go to our rest areas and they're just plain old rest areas. Purple Heart Trail, freedom is not free. Boy, isn't that the truth? Did you know this about George Washington? I did not know that about the Purple Heart Medal. I didn't know George Washington was the one that started it. Pony Express rider at 15, military scout during the Indian Wars, buffalo hunter for the Rebels. William F. Buffalo Bill Cody personifies the popular image of the Wild West. Buffalo Bill, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo Bill, won't you come out tonight? And dance under the light of the moon. Buffalo Bill lived at Scott's Rest Ranch near North Platte, where he entertained guests from all over the world. And I'm not far, I'm probably about 35 miles east of North Platte. This is where I am, and I'm gonna travel Interstate 80 all the way into Wyoming. I'm really having a lot of fun. Miss Hood's back in the driver's seat. It's just not A big yellow bus. See the shadow on the land? Oh my gosh, the sun is behind us because we're traveling west. And it's coming up. It's a beautiful morning. Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming. This looks like foreign land to me. Oh, look. Look at them. Look at all of them. I know you Nebraska people, you're thinking, what the heck is she talking about? We don't see cattle like this in Kentucky. We see some, but we don't see it for miles. Future family barbecues right there. I could never tire of looking at the landscape of each state that I've driven to. It's imperative that you know what you're doing every minute of the day. You have to plan everything. I'm going to travel through Wyoming and Utah today because I'm not traveling through the entire state of Utah. I'm traveling through that top part of it. As I move through Nebraska into Wyoming, the terrain is beginning to change the closer I get to the state line. I am in Nebraska, but I'm getting ready to go into Wyoming. That's what it looks like. The Wyoming Port of Entry. I have jumped through all these hoops, I gotta tell you. This is so frustrating for me. But it is what it is. You learn as you go. You have to stop there. I had the whole thing planned that I was gonna stop at a certain place so that I would be able to get my trip permit before I crossed the state line. Because I was told to get it before you cross the state line. If they pull you over, they can get you. I've got all these plans going, right? And so I call and the girl says, oh, we don't do that. You'll have to come in at the Port of Entry. I have to come in the Port of Entry. The Port of Entry is like maybe about 10 miles in to Wyoming. But how in the heck? I'm just not going to worry about it. Get it at the Port of Entry. I'll know that from now on. Well, I had done such a good job cleaning out my suitcase, and I had changed my notebook to a smaller size. As I was doing that, I accidentally removed the annual Wyoming permit that I have to carry on me all the time that Horizon provided for me. The girl said I only needed my license plate number and my dot number. So I've got both of those, but I'm going to take my notebook in. I'm going to play it safe.
In 800 feet, turn right toward I-80 Service Road.
Every commercial driver has to get off at the Port of Entry, coming into Wyoming, go in the building, show their little Wyoming annual permit to get their trip permit.
Wish me luck, you guys. This is my first time I'm going to the Port of Entry in Wyoming to get my permit. I hope I've done everything right.
And I get up there and I'm so proud of myself because my notebook I have planned. I've got everything organized, everything in order. And it's not there.
This is what it said.
Paperwork. I could not find my Wyoming permit.
All my dot permits are right here, and it's not here. And there was a lady in line with me who was also a Horizon Transport driver, and she got hers and she came over and she was helping go through the notebook page by page. I said, I know it's not in here. It's really weird because it doesn't have a heading on it. There's nothing that says
Wyoming, DOT, blah, blah, blah. And I had my Arizona, but didn't have my Wyoming. I do know I have a printer. I carry it with me everywhere I go. So I did know that I could go back out to the RV and I could get the permit off the app if I could just find it on the app and print it out, and I could go back in there and I will be okay. Excuse me. And I was a nervous wreck. It was my first time in the Port of Entry. I didn't want to go in the Port of Entry. I didn't want to get off of I-80 and get back on I-80 in that 30-foot RV. I didn't want to. It was their fault. They're the ones that made me go in there in the first place. It was nice. He gave me time to go find it. This other guy who was a rising driver who was standing there. And he said, it's in the paperwork in your packet, in your RV. He said, you know that packet of papers in your RV? And I said, yeah. He said, it's in there. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I come out here and I go through the packet and I'm looking through and I'm thinking, it's not here. What am I going to do? It's not here. The little lady sticks her head in the door and she said, you know what? And I said, what? She said, I've got an extra. I said, you have an extra? She said, I always carry it with me. You never know when you're going to run into somebody who needs it. She was my angel that day, and I thank God for her. Skin of my teeth on this one, y'all. Skin of my teeth. It is a lot of work. I don't want to kid you. It's a lot of work. This is Miss Hood, a retired school bus driver on her journey to California. So right after I get out of the Port of Entry, I heard somebody say, how are the roads looking? And I thought, roads? And I heard somebody say, it was snowing on the mountain last night. And I thought, I have to go over that mountain. And this other guy says, yeah, there's 1.5 inches of snow on the pass. I should really not listen to these truckers, but I'm so glad I did, because I was so scared after the point of entry. I was looking for a rest area. I had to stop. And this is what I found. There was about 1.5 inches of snow on the ground, but the roads were very well taken care of. They had sand put down on them, and I didn't have any problems going through that pass. That was the highest point on I-80, which is also called the Lincoln Highway. They wanted to name the highway after Lincoln in honor of him for bringing the country back together after the Civil War.
It's pretty awesome. Look at the detail in his face.
And this road was going to make it possible to travel. From the West Coast to the East Coast. The one thing that you realize when you're doing this job is time is of the essence. And it is so easy to burn it up. I did not take my sticky thing to put on the windshield because this was my second run. I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to manage that GoPro and drive that vehicle.
We're going down the pass and we were at 9,000 feet and we've got a 5% grade.
After I had stopped at the pass, I got out my little tripod and set it up on the dashboard.
And this is really pretty, but I can't hold the camera and drive the RV at the same time. The last thing I want to do is drive an RV through snow, down a mountain. And here I am.
In case you haven't noticed, I am having so much fun.
This is Laramie.
Oh, Wyoming. Enjoyed seeing the mountain range of Colorado, Utah, Wyoming on my trips. They were extraordinary.
I'm getting really close to the Utah border. Getting real close to that. So that's why we're seeing these Rocky Mountains.
These mountains are breathtaking.
That is the Colorado Rockies. And yes, that is snow that you see on top of them.
I'm still partial to my southern roots, and I love those Smoky Mountains. Still love my Smoky Mountains. It's that Cherokee girl. She is on the inside of me.
I tell you, whenever I see this, I just think that song is in my head. Dun 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 dun. I think that's a song from Ponderosa. Do you all know that? If you know that, if you're old enough to know that, could you make a comment in the comment section and tell me if that was the tune from Ponderosa? Because that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking about that big old Ponderosa. And you know, we just went through Laramie. I think there was another TV show that was in Laramie, the Big Valley.
I spent the night right across the border from Wyoming into Utah. I am getting ready to get to Utah. You can see how everything's changing in Wyoming. And it's beginning to look like Utah. Buttes. I mean, aren't these
Nevada, your permit lasts for 24 hours. So I'm going to stop right at the line, order it. I'm hoping I'll be there about 9 o'clock in the morning. Order it, and it will be good until 9 o'clock the next morning. It's only 411 miles across the state, so I should make that with no problem. When I got to the salt flats, that was the perfect place to stop. When I saw this sign, I thought, foot washing? What is this, a religious place or something? That salt, it gets all over you, just like sand. And it looks just like snow. It was there that I parked, called in to the Nevada folks, and got my permit emailed to me. And then I hooked up my printer, printed out the copy. So I was ready for any surprise dot inspection. I don't have enough anxiety already learning this brand new job. Now I've got to get through one whole state in 24 hours, and I can only drive for 11 hours. Nevada was just as beautiful. Nevada is almost as beautiful as Colorado. But the most interesting thing that I ran into, or actually drove through, was the Carlin Tunnels. On this trip to California, it came as a surprise when I came up on that tunnel. And the only film footage I had was coming up on the tunnel. I got on my phone and I did the research about the Carlin Tunnel, and I looked at my film footage of my other California trips, and I had footage that showed the railroad tunnel along with the automobile tunnel. don't want to get into the mountains got off at the next exit, and there was a Walmart, and there was some food, and I thought, I am going to spend the night here. Hey you guys, look how beautiful that sunset is. I am east from Reno, Nevada, and I should be turning in this baby tomorrow at 1:30, and then I'm headed on an airplane Saturday, flying back, driving home Sunday. It's been a great trip to California. Beautiful, beautiful things that I've seen. Oh gosh, my life, my life, my life, my life. I just can't even begin to say all the experiences that I'm having. It's just the dream of a lifetime for me.
The trip from Reno to Sacramento was one curve after another. It was all mountains, and the wind was blowing, and the curves, and you'd go up the hill, and then you'd go down the hill, and you had to worry about your brake. It had an M as a gear, you know, reverse, drive, first gear, second gear, neutral. There, it had an M on it, and I thought, I wonder if that's for mountain driving. California is beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous? I wonder if this water is here because it comes from a spring. It's called Soda Springs.
Finally, I'm at the Camping World. Whew. Man, I was never so glad to get out of that RV. I mean, I loved every minute of my trip. I am not regretting anything, but I was tired.
I always like to get to my landing place early. I have to take those pictures of the entire RV before I turn it in.
I have just driven in that RV, fighting the weather and the wind and the mountains for 5 days. 2,200 miles.
I'm on an earlier schedule now because I checked my RV in early, and my hotel room's not ready. So I asked them if there was a restaurant nearby since I didn't have a car, and they said, "Oh yeah, just walk around to the other side of the hotel. There's a whole shopping mall over there."
They've got a Red Robin. I said, they've got a Red Robin? I went to eat at the Red Robin, and on the way there, you know how Bass Pro Shops are. Beautiful little pond and the ducks, I kept getting in their way and they kept getting in my way.
So good. I had the best meal, and since I spent a night at the hotel, I got to bring some of it back with me, and then that night I finished it off as dinner.
California sunshine, blue skies, it was all there. It was all beautiful that day. I was really concerned about the Lyft ride that was going to take me from the hotel to the Oakland International Airport, because I'm about an hour away. And so I was telling the Lyft driver about that, and he said, "Have you already ordered the ride?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Then I'll go grab it right now." I got up at about 5:15 because I was leaving there at 6. I get this message at 5:30 that he is at the door waiting whenever I'm ready. And I thought, I love that guy. I got his name and everything. So if I ever have to go back there again, I know who to ask for.
I'm at the airport. I've checked in. I've found my gate. I've got my tickets. It's time to relax and get some good food. After 5 days of eating out of truck stops and food that didn't have to be refrigerated, I was ready to sit down and be served.
It's amazing to me that I flew 2,200 miles in one day.
We took off from the Oakland Airport, and it wasn't, I think, 30 minutes before we were going across the mountains in California around, I think it was south of Lake Tahoe. Aren't they beautiful?
We took off from Oakland International Airport at 10:05, and then we landed in Salt Lake City.
I had enough time to get off the plane and get something for lunch and get back on the plane that's going to take me to Detroit.
The mountain range, just to go over them in an airplane, you could see the whole range.
We flew over those big, beautiful, rocky mountains. To be on a trip where you drive through them and then fly over them, I don't have words.
Then we went from Salt Lake to Detroit.
Yeah, they got me to Detroit just in time for dinner. This is really amazing. I had a small little breakfast at the Oakland Airport in California in the morning. I had lunch at the Utah Airport in Salt Lake City. And then I had dinner in Detroit, Michigan. There used to be a time in my life when I thought, wouldn't it be fun if you could eat out every meal? Well, now I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fun if you could eat every meal in a different state?
In Michigan, I had to go from one concourse to the other. I was at A5 and I had to go to B5.
I never got tired of seeing that plane take off and watching it land.
I cannot wait to get home. Plane landed early. My courtesy shuttle showed up and took me back to the yard, and I got my car out of the gate. It was 11 o'clock. I drove for 2 hours in that car, and I got tired, and I pulled over at a Love's truck stop, and I took a little nap, and I woke up about, I think it was about 7:30. Went on down the road and found a Starbucks and got my eggs, my kale eggs and my banana bread, and yeah, my banana bread. After eating the kale eggs, I could not eat this banana bread. I did it. I went all the way to California in a brand new RV all by myself. I did it. And now I'm home.
I've got 2 trips under my belt. Am I ready for another one? You betcha. Where am I going to go? I can't tell you that now. You'll have to find out in the next video.
Home. This is my happy place. It's just another day. It's difficult to say that it's just another day in Misfit school bus life, because this trip was anything but just another day in Miss Hood's school bus life. Drive safe, everybody.